Ladies and gentlemen, many of you who came here today to get some entertainment, which you're going to get in a few minutes, because we got a stellar lineup back there. They're ready to go. But we also came here to listen to some encouraging words from an ambassador, from a gentleman who has walked the land, who has walked through civil rights, who has mentored many. He is the chairman of the Leon H. Sullivan Foundation. He is part of our family. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the honor, I got the honor here tonight, to bring to you a man who has inspired me, a man that has accepted our invitation to come here and speak before you today. So ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for Ambassador Andrew J. Young.
Thank you very much. This is a wonderful crowd and a wonderful evening. And we're here to pay tribute to Dr. Leon Sullivan for really dreaming of an institution that would last long after he's gone. We've honored some wonderful people here tonight, but we've honored them not just for their achievements. All of them have made significant achievements, but the reason they've been honored is because they passed it on. They passed it on to others, and they made it possible for generations yet unborn to take advantage of some of the things that we have been fighting for all of our lives. I was with Martin Luther King in 1962, and I read a magazine article about a young minister in Philadelphia who developed a selective buying campaign. And the reason that was attractive to us was that we were marching about lunch counters. We were marching about voter registration. We were trying to integrate the South, but we really couldn't talk much about money. We were on the verge of opening the doors of America to all of our people, and we not have enough money to go in and enjoy what we fought for. And we saw Leon Sullivan develop a selective buying campaign that said to all of those people to whom we do business, that you have to hire our people, and you have to buy some of the goods we produce. Now, you take that for granted. But in the 60s, Leon Sullivan had to organize and fight just to get black people to be able to drive bread trucks. And we took it south and called it Operation Breadbasket. That's the way Jesse Jackson got it from. Jesse Jackson got it from Martin Luther King, who got it from Leon Sullivan. But let me tell you something, the reason why I wanted to talk to you just a minute, that was a wonderful book that they gave out there. But it didn't have Leon Sullivan's picture in it. And it didn't have mine either. But that's all right. It's all right because the people it had were representative of many thousands of people who made it possible for you and I to be what we're going to be and what we are today. And the challenge that OIC has suggested and selected under the leadership of Leon Sullivan is that in more than 60 cities around the nation and in 32 countries in Africa and the Caribbean, and even in Poland, I understand, there are OICs that are helping young people to generate job opportunities, to learn the skills that are necessary to survive wherever they are. And Leon Sullivan not only was a great man, but he inspired all of the hundreds of leaders of these OICs who are in turn responsible for the tens of thousands of successful people we have today. Let me tell you just about one of them. He told me that he came up from Alabama literally on the back of a watermelon truck. And he couldn't read too good, he hadn't finished high school. And Leon Sullivan grabbed him and put him in a GED program, got him an opportunity with OIC, there was another lawyer that gave him a job in his office. And that lawyer had, well, he'd been a drunk and had been homeless. But he'd kind of gotten himself together, and he took this young man that Leon Sullivan had gotten a GED, and he helped him go to Temple. And then he helped him go to law school. And when this lawyer got to be a judge, he turned over his whole law practice and law office to this young man who had been just come up from Alabama on a watermelon truck. Well, that young man is now the mayor of Philadelphia. And the lawyer who had been a drunk, who Leon Sullivan also helped to get himself together, had a daughter. And that daughter is now the mayor of Atlanta, Georgia. I like to tell people that because we never know when we give somebody a helping hand, how far that helping hand's going to go. And Shirley Franklin in Atlanta has taken over the Southland. She's created more jobs and more opportunities, and it probably wouldn't have happened without the kind of network that Leon Sullivan started in Philadelphia almost 50 years ago. But he's not in the book. Now, the reason why I put the emphasis on that is that you might not be in anybody's book either. But I know the Lord knows what you're doing. And I know that the time that you spend, there's a teacher that ain't in nobody's book, but she got Jimmy Carter to read. She got him to read a great big thick book, and he ended up president of the United States. I caught hell from all of my teachers because I couldn't keep still. And I couldn't concentrate, and I probably had ADD and BD and all the initials you put on your children. But you know, all of those things that made me a difficult student made it possible for me to be a civil rights worker, a congressman, a mayor, an ambassador. I'm saying, don't look down on any of our children. My son brought the raggediest little boy into my house. My daughters used to bring raggedy boys in, but I never, you know, I knew not to react. I said, oh, how you doing? Then I'd pray. Of course, all of them married well. But then when my son started bringing thuggish-looking fellas around, I said, look, now, you know, I never complained about anybody you all bring around the house, but can't that boy clean up a little bit? He's not going to ever have a job. Nobody will ever hire him. My son said, Daddy, you don't know who that is? He said, he's part of Outcast. And he's got more money already than you'll ever have. He doesn't need a job. He's got a record company. He's writing movies. He's contributing to his own clothing line. You know why all these white folks are all over the world are dressing raggedy? Because of him. I say that what we have going on is something that we've got to appreciate. We never quite fully understand what's happening to us in the moment. But looking back over my life, and if I had said to Martin Luther King on the road from Selma to Montgomery, Martin, I want to be the mayor of Atlanta. He said, boy, you are crazy. It ain't going to happen in our lifetime. It might happen, and you need to keep marching because it's going to happen for our grandchildren. Well, I say to you, yes, it's going to happen for your grandchildren, but it's also going to happen better for you. I was depressed in 1959, and then all of a sudden John Kennedy got elected president. And then again, when Martin Luther King was killed, we thought it was the end of the world. But before I knew it, folks had pushed me into the Congress of the United States, and we were impeaching the president. And the next thing you know, I was ambassador to the United Nations, and nobody, not even my mama and my grandmama, would have believed I'd have amounted to anything. So I'm saying that Leon Sullivan invested his life in the least of these God's children. And that's what Jesus said he's going to ask you. When the judgment day comes, he's going to say, when I was hungry, did you give me to drink? When I was thirsty, did you give me to drink? When I was sick and in prison, did you visit me? Inasmuch as you did it not unto the least of these, my brother, and you did it not to me, go to hell. But Leon Sullivan helped the least of these. And you, in carrying on with OIC, are making it possible that the least of these God's children will someday be greater than any of us can ever imagine. Because this is, in spite of all of this problem, this is the greatest nation on the face of the earth, and it is that way because you and people like Leon Sullivan have helped make it. God bless you.